We can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Tough.
Mm-hmm.
I guess no other way than to break the news. As of February 8th, we have closed down Mija Seoul. I know this comes as a bit of a shock to a lot of people, especially because we've been almost fully booked since day one, which we're so thankful about. And we're here to answer why we decided to make this painful decision.
So this is how it looks in the morning when I get in every day. How many bookings do we have? This is the kitchen, so everything has been cleaned and dried overnight. Abalone. Now we start prepping. It's a day of remembering and being happy about what I achieved here. Just taking the time to really comprehend that we are closing this place. Are you ready for the last day?
No. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. It was the first thing you said then. Table 6, 5 in first seating, table 4, 3 and 6B in second seating.
She sits and she sits, so she's at her end's wits. Clean up the stove to watch stories unfold. Days go by, though she ceases to cry. As a mature woman, you keep it inside. She knew when my girl, where are you these days? She knew when my wife, where are you today? The son's not home, so she's all alone. Business mind rains on the folk, and you spare the time to make you all mine. I'll give you some bread if you rub on my head. She knew when my girl, where are you these days? She knew when my
So the last year and a couple of months, Mija Seoul have been all of my world. We took over this beautiful place, which was not so beautiful last year when we got the keys in 4th of January, because there was a major water leakage and that had to be fixed.
Yeah.
It quickly became my son. Everything evolved around Mija Seoul. It's been a big journey and a lot has been learned.
We first made this space because, first and foremost, it was kind of our show of appreciation and love for Korea and the Korean produce. It was a place for doobies to come and visit and eat the food that we've been developing, that we love, that we believe in, and it was a way for us to kind of bridge that gap between online and the real world. And in that sense, it was a very, very special place where we could meet the people that supported us.
And yeah, that was it was very overwhelming opening up the booking system for 6th of May and 2 months out in advance, and we just were booked up, and people every day coming in here and were big fans of Tina, telling all their personal stories about what Tina meant for them through Corona or learn to cooking. It's been a big privilege for me also.
Yeah, the response we got from the public was overwhelming, and we are so thankful that you guys supported us. And even if you didn't visit, whether it was online or here at Mija Seoul, we deeply appreciate all the support and love that we've received up to this point. And yeah, I didn't think that it was gonna be like this. So I'm like very, very thankful, and it makes it extra difficult to close this chapter.
It was a very, very tough decision to realize that media was not sustainable for us, but it was a decision we had to make, and we were both at the breaking point. It was always a challenge running a restaurant, but it's been a steep learning curve. I came from fine dining for many years in Denmark and around, and opening this place quickly also became, it was hard for me and Tina really to find the set of menu we wanted to do. We kind of got both the fine dining elements, we wanted to do a lot of dishes, we wanted to showcase Korean produce and Korean techniques. We also wanted to do it low-key and make sure it was affordable for everybody, and everybody wanted to come in and try some of more Doobydobap fun dishes also. It's definitely been a balance, and I think that media at some point ended up in maybe on the higher notes. We had a lot of staff, prices had to go up. We wanted to be sure that we paid everybody, both produce, like farmers, staff, everybody, what we think they deserved. Tina also having troubles finding staff meant that I also had to help a lot on the Doobydobap side. As some people have noticed, I was either cameraman or head chef, so it was a packed week I was always going into, and it was very challenging for me to find myself both places and feel that I actually I would always feel guilty for not being enough media for the team, but I would always feel guilty when I had to be a media for Tina at Doobydobap. She's been helping a lot, the media from day one, ordering, going with me out to Gadak market at night, Sunday and Monday nights to all the groceries, driving up here, unloading, unpacking, and then start straight into the week again for both of us. It's been the toughest challenge I've been facing, and I think the same for you.
Yeah.
Juggling two businesses and 2 careers at the same time.
I think a lot of people could tell from videos that Kevin and I were both exhausted. Like, it was too tough, at least for me, to juggle 2 hats. I was working at Mija, making sure the produce was being ordered, the alcohol, being day-to-day and very hands-on, especially in the early stages, making sure that the restaurant was running. Like, I was polishing the silverware at night, doing dishwashing, cleaning up, and it required a lot of hours on top of a already like pre-existing job that I have that also requires a lot of time from me and also from Kevin as well. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why we were struggling a lot is because Yejin had to go back to school, and after she went back to school, I was having a lot of trouble juggling all the work alone, and I needed Kevin's help in order to be a cameraman.
I was just taking care of all the practicality of organizing and filming in a kitchen. You also have to get produce home. Most of your recipes also need to be tested at least once. It's a lot of work to run a YouTube channel of that size that you're doing. And on top of that, also having to be the key account manager of Mija Seoul and the produce hunter, and finding out, okay, where can we get organic pork? Okay, that's not as easy. Or where can we get nabe cabbage right now, or persimmons? It was really too much to put on one person, because as you probably maybe have seen, I'm learning Hangul, Korean, but I'm still not at a place where I can just call a farmer and say, nabe cabbage juiceyo. That's not possible. So it was really, really tough juggling both, and doing 4 or 5 days here, coming home we would be home at 1, 2, eating cup noodles. That was the only thing we really had time to eat the whole day, and then go to bed, and I would have to go up here at 9 again, especially the first big long period, to make sure we were prepped and ahead. And Tina had to start filming and editing and cleaning at home, because she also had to film in her space in our apartment that we lived in. It was tough, yeah.
And it was my first time being a business owner, and I was very new to it. It was a lot of problem solving, and it was a lot of questions and doors that I didn't know the answer to, and I struggled. And I really felt that at some point I needed to just focus on one thing in order to do it well. I either had to make the decision to focus solely on Mija Seoul to develop it as a restaurant, or I had to put my energy into Doobydobap. And when it came down to it, I realized that what I'm good at and what I love is sharing my love for food in this form.
But it's also, Mija Seoul was started as a way of making Doobydobap a more physical thing that people could come and see and visit and say hello to Tina and say hello to me and taste some of our food. It was never just us wanted to run a restaurant. It was always with also the focus of Doobydobap, that channel, and making sure that we make recipes and sharing the love for Korean food. And we just wanted to transcend into more physical spot, a location. But if we had to choose between closing Doobydobap for Mija, that was not an option either. Doobydobap, kind of like Doobydobap was the mother to our Mija, the daughter. Mija means daughter.
I think the main realization was we had to focus on one thing in order to do it really well, was the biggest takeaway for me. And in order to have a life that's sustainable and balanced, you can't just be working all the time, and nobody can do that. Sounds like a defeat almost, but it's not. We learned so much from opening up Mija Seoul. Like, we have this almost chest of knowledge now, and that itself is valuable on its own for whatever we do next in the future. Instead of just working in complete darkness, we've gone through it all.
Yeah, and I also think me and Tina, we met 2 years ago, almost now. And building a business together has been also a way of exploring each other and figuring out what our weaknesses and strengths are. For me, seeing the amount of support for us and for Tina coming in through the door every day, that has been the biggest privilege to open this place. Like, I was baffled as a restaurateur and a chef for many years, seeing the amount of people flying to Korea to come in and visit Tina and say hello to us. But getting all the feedback and seeing what worked and what didn't work has been a big privilege to experience. And run a restaurant, yeah, that's been wild.
Yeah, it's been the biggest privilege of all, and I am so thankful that we had this experience and the knowledge that we gained from it. As for what's next for us, We want to focus more on what brought a lot of people to Mija Seoul in the first place, which is sharing our love for food, telling stories, exploring the markets, teaching about food, just food in general. We really want to just share with a lot of people.
And maybe also make it a bit more affordable, make it maybe more accessible for more people. So we could only fit 30 people, cram 34 people in every day here. I think both me and Tina, we want to make sure that we can get a bigger reach and that more people can try our food in a new form one day.
Yeah.
When we are ready.
Maybe kimbap. We'll see.
Yeah, and once again, I said it many times, the staff is the most important part of running a business, I would say, but especially a restaurant. That's something I maybe didn't realize, but running your own business, running your own restaurant, I really realized you need to be able to depend on people, and I did. I really had a fantastic team, and that was one of the things that hurt the most. Closing Mija, but it has been a big privilege to work with people like Kevin, Daniel, Minhee, Shinwoo, Yejin, Keumhye. Thank you so much. This would never have existed. This dream would not have been possible without all of you. And it hurts me a lot that we are not gonna bump into each other every day anymore. And I will see you around, of course.
Without you, we wouldn't have Mija Seoul. And it's been a great honor to work with such dedicated staff. Thank you.